Hey there, good morning and welcome to the JeepSolid Garage. Today we're continuing with the stroker build. We're taking this 4-liter engine, turning it into a 4.6-liter stroker. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you can follow along on this. If you're watching this series, thank you so much. Leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Today we are doing the camshaft installation, talking about some of the specifics on that, talking about some special assembly lube that we have to use on this. We got a lot of different projects going on right now. Things are pretty busy in the shop, but today it's stroker build. And lately I have had a few questions on specifically what is a stroker, what makes this engine a stroker. So normally it's about the engine displacement. This is a 4-liter, meaning that all 6 cylinders combined together, you get 4 liters of displacement. We're going to increase the volume of that to 4.6 liters by boring out the cylinders 30 thousandths over, but more importantly, swapping out the crank from this 4-liter engine to a 4.2-liter crank, which has more throw to it so that we get more displacement of those pistons. That's what increases it to the 4.6 liters. So today we are installing our camshaft. This camshaft is from Engine Tech. There is our part number right there. We have our cam shield here. This is a high zinc concentrated lube that we have to use on this camshaft. This is a flat tapped cam. Let's open this up real quick. It's French for gilet. There's a look at our camshaft. And right here, Engine Tech, camshaft break-in, engine oil warning. Right here it says the AREA Technical Committee has warned against using modern-day engine oils to break in flat tappet camshafts. Modern engine oils do not contain enough zinc to protect the camshaft during break-in. So the lifters are going to ride right on top of the lobes here, and if we don't break that in properly, these lobes can break down and snap off. That's why you have to use a high concentrated zinc assembly lube. And this cam shield I got from Engine Tech as well. If you haven't been on their website, be sure to go check it out. They have all the parts and supplies you need for your engine rebuilds. So with this cam shield assembly lube, it'll help break in the camshaft properly and keep it safe. We're going to put it on all of the lobes and journals, even where the distributor gear goes right there. We're going to hit all these surfaces. Now we have our cam bearings installed. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I did have the machine shop do that for me. Most of the engine rebuild I'm doing myself, but there are a few things that I really recommend to have an engine shop do. The DIY home guy doing it yourself, unless you have the right equipment to do it, you're just not going to get the same professional results that you can on certain things, such as boring your cylinders out 30 thousandths over and honing it to get a good professional hone. If you take your engine to the machine shop to have them do those things, clean the engine, installing the cam bearings was only like an extra $30. It is something you can do on your own, but you have to buy yourself it's almost like a slide hammer. It's like a $200 tool, but I have my engine there anyways for them to bore it and hone it and deck it and do all these things that I can't do at home. For 30 bucks to have them install the cam bearings and get them in perfect is what I want. It's worth it to me as opposed to buying a $200 part. And installing them yourself, you can mess them up. You can tweak them, get them bent, not installed just right. So that's something that I do recommend having them do. All right, let's flip this over so that we can get a better look at the cam while we're installing it here. And like I said, there's 4 cam bearings. When you get it back from the machine shop, double check that the oiling holes, each one of those bearings has an oiling hole. Make sure it's lined up in the proper spot in the engine. And they do consecutively get smaller. So the one down at the end here near the this would be near the flywheel is the smallest, the one towards the front of the engine is the biggest. So they get installed in a certain order. And I should mention what a flat tapped cam is. So this is the lobe that the lifter is going to ride on. So here's our lifters from Engine Tech. So some lifters have an actual roller on them. These do not. I want to put a glove on because I want to keep everything clean. I want to keep my oils of my hands off of these new parts. So the lifter here is just a flat metal surface, and it's going to ride right on top of that lobe. This is what pushes the push rod will sit right on top of this, and this is what pushes that push rod up and down, controlling your valves. There's a little oil hole there that oil squirts up into it. Neat little system. But this surface right here where this lifter rides, that's where we need our cam shield. We're going to put it on all these surfaces, but that's where it's super important. So one of these 5/8 ounce things of cam shield is enough to do a V8 engine. This is a 6-cylinder, so it'll be plenty to do this engine. I am going to get a little bit of cam shield on all of these bearings here before we install our camshaft. Okay, now that I've got the first few journals of this lubed up, I can slide this in part way, being very careful with my bearings there. I don't want to force anything, scratch anything. We're just going to slide this in so these first two bearings catch. Now I can lube up the rest of this. And as you can see, I did not skimp on this. I applied it fairly liberally, but I have enough left over here because we're going to apply some to our lifters and push rods as we install those as well. So save a little bit for that. Now we can slide our camshaft in the rest of the way, being as gentle as we can. Boy, that is kind of messy, but it looks good. And as you guys can see, that one slid in fairly smooth, fit just right. The last rebuild I did, the camshaft went in super tight. I actually had to take a rubber mallet to tap it in the rest of the way. Talked to my machine shop about that. He said, should be just fine as long as you put a bolt on it. If it'll turn freely, you should be golden, and I was. That was on this rebuild. Haven't had any issues with it since then. Fit tighter, made me nervous, but worked out just fine. This one slid in, no problems. So next up on this, we will be doing timing chain, sprockets, all that. If you guys have comments on camshaft selection, issues you've run into, please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you guys. Check out my next video right up here. Have a good day. That was actually first try.